Hey everyone, Jackson Boobles. Thanks for jumping into another Bookvertizement. Today we are covering Daring Greatly by Bren'e Brown. Now, Bren'e is a pretty impressive person. She has the number 10 most watched TED Talk of all time. I'd known about her talk for a while. I was really excited to get into the book and uncover that we have some similar thinking where she talked innovative ideas often sound crazy and failure and learning are part of revolution. Revolution, my kind of lady. So let's talk about some of the things she found are huge opportunities for us to grow as people. Her big focus was on vulnerability, and she characterizes it as uncertainty, risk, or emotional exposure. So think about all those things that are inside you that eat at you. You don't want people to know about them, but they kind of pull you down a little bit. She calls these her gremlins. She says these are the things that are consistently in your head all day long, and until we get them out somewhere, it's really hard for us to wrap our hands around it and create a solution. So if we just let these gremlins run wild, what we see is shame, and we see shame come hard, often, and strong. It's in our self-talk. It's consistently saying, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, this other person's better, don't try. What we see with people who've had these shame conversations running in their head for years or decades, we find addiction, violence, aggression, depression, eating disorders, bullying. Obviously, none of these things are exciting, but we see it consistently over and over again from people who are keeping their biggest challenges inside. Aversion, the more we have shame, the more adverse we are to doing something outside of our comfort zone, which means we basically are getting stuck in life. So the way that Bren'e Brown suggests addressing this is creating more connections. Going to those people who you trust, who you love, who you know you have a safe spot with, and having some conversations that are a little bit tough to get to that next step of where you want to be. The other side of it is belonging, being part of something bigger than you. This could be your church, this could be your work, it could be an amazing sports team like the Green Bay Football Packers. But the idea is here that we're surrounding ourselves with other people, and we're always coming at things with that mentality of I am good enough, I am smart enough. I'm thinking Stuart Smalley here, but wholeheartedness and knowing that deep down you belong. So I love that Bren'e Brown talks about challenges, and she also provides solutions. She says, hey, we all have the opportunity to write the own end of our story. We're only as sick as our secrets, which means we all have baggage. Let's get after it and address it. One of the proactive things we can do is write about what's troubling you. Sit down and journal. 15, 20 minutes, 3 or 4 days in a row. She found through her research provided huge results in starting to wrap people's heads around the shame that they were carrying. Guilt versus shame. I did something bad versus I am bad, making a clear distinction there. Talking to yourself as a friend, being gentle when you do something that you feel is a mistake, and looking at this whole process as art. If we say, I have this idea, this intention that I'm working toward, when it comes out, there's going to be a lot better opportunity to appreciate it than saying it had to be this way, and if it's not exactly this way, it was a fail. Perfect versus good, I love this as well, saying, hey, I did 5 pull-ups today. It's not a full workout, but it's something. So rewarding ourselves for the little things and being aware of that. Now, this is where this stuff really, really comes in important. It's in parenting. And if this picture with all these tweens holding cell phones doesn't give you anxiety, we got to talk, because this stuff is a whole new world to me. But when we have young people, helping them to normalize what they're going through. Look, I don't know exactly what it's like, but I was in middle school, I was in high school. This is maybe an embarrassing or shameful type thing I went through. Now we're on a level playing field. Help me understand what you're working on. Engagement is priority. Again, we don't have to be perfect, but we have to be trying. And if we want our children to turn out in a certain way, we need to model that behavior. So how do we act when it comes to food choices, TV choices, what we put in our body, the way we act? Our kids are going to see that, and they're going to do that way before they listen to what we have to say. And finally, Bren'e Brown leaves us with, daring greatly is not about winning or losing. It's about courage. Go, act, try. Everything will get better. If you thought this was neat, please go to the website elevatedins.com. There are several Bookvertisements out there. Find something that you like. If it looks interesting, come see me. You can borrow the book. We can talk about it. People and books are how we grow.